All right, good day, class. Today we are going to be talking about Marco Polo. Now, Marco Polo, I'm sure you've heard of the game. You mainly played it when you were a kid and things like that. But Marco Polo was an actual person, and we're going to go over his life. Not too in depth, but just enough. So, before we begin, in this lesson, um, there are there is a warm up. There are notes, but there aren't any midpoint or final question. If I remember right, this was a day when class was shorter. If my memory serves me right, something happened and it was going to be a short class. So that's why there's no questions. So you lucked out on this part, but you still need to do the warm up and the notes. So with that being said, let us begin. All right, so here is your warm-up picture. So what you first need to do is analyze the picture and create a list of things you see. Look all around, look in the background, foreground, what do you see? So make a list of things you see. Now the second part is, now that you've written down and you basically analyze the picture, um, what's going on? What do you think is happening? Um, so make an educated guess. What do you think? Look at the body language and how people are, things like that, and then come up with a conclusion. Okay, so here's the thing. Marco Polo, he was, you know, basically your average type of kid back in the day. The thing is, his mom and dad, they had a strange kind of relationship. The thing is, the dad was one of those merchants who would go off and spend a lot of time in other places, and he would then come back months, sometimes even years later. So Marco Polo really didn't get to know his dad all too well. But the thing is, his mom died when he was 15 years old, and his dad, Niccolo, he was like, you know what? Might as well bring my kid, into the family business. So he took Marco and he joined him on his trip to Asia. Now, when he got to Asia, they basically were summoned to appear before, like, the king. Um, this guy who they met, his name was Kubla Khan. He was the grandson of the world famous, I mean, almost complete world conqueror, Genghis Khan. Now, when I say complete world, I'm talking about in Europe, Asia, things like that. He really dominated in his time. So yeah, he was, that name Khan really struck fear, and Genghis Khan's son wasn't as formidable, but Kubla Khan, the grandson, was just as smart as his grandfather, and basically he kept up the empire, the Mongolian Empire, that his grandfather had created. So here's the thing. Kubla Khan saw something in Marco Polo when he talked to him, met him, and he was like, there's something about this kid. He's pretty smart. This kid knows what he's doing, and there's just something about him. Something struck him about Marco Polo. Now, Marco Polo basically spent 24 years of his life in the service of Kubla Khan. He explored new areas. He was a governor in some places. And the thing is, Marco started to take kind of note of things he saw, the countryside, places he was, how things was, how the life of the people in the towns he was a governor of. Um, but the thing is, as time went on, Marco Polo never really, in a sense, got used to where he was. He was, and eventually did get homesick. And the thing is, he wanted to go back home. Now, the problem is, Kubla Khan didn't want to let go of Marco Polo. He was like, "No, man, you're awesome. You're doing a great job. You are doing so much for me, and you're just top notch." Um, it's kind of like in a business where like the top salesman wants to leave. Why would if you had a business and you had your best seller guy want to leave, you don't want him to go. That's your top guy, you know. So they try to make give us some type of incentive to stay. And basically Kubla Khan does that. He's trying to get Marco Polo to stay. But Marco Polo, he doesn't. He wants to go back home. Now, to your right, there's a picture sort of representing Marco Polo. It's not a um, portrait, you know, but it's just like based off how he looked as an old man. you know, Chances are he kind of looked like that. Okay, so here's the thing. Marco Polo wants to go home, but Kubla Khan won't let him. So the thing is, Polo comes up with a pretty smart idea. What he does is he tells Kubla Khan, "Hey, you know what? Your nephew is going to get married, right? So how about this? I take his wife, I escort her to him, okay? And you know, just that's what I can do for you. Make sure her safety, things like that. And basically kind of represent you at the wedding. Now, whether his plan was to go once the wedding was done to go back to Italy, no one knows for sure because the thing is, on the way um, to that Marco Polo was going to the escort the nephew's wife, many people died. And during that trip, Kubla Khan died. All right. Now, Polo, being a man of his word, did what he said. He escorted the wife. He stayed for the wedding. But when it was over, Polo was like, "You know what? I'm done. I served Kubla Khan up until his death. I did what he wanted me to. So I did everything he asked. So I'm free, scot free." So he went back to Venice. Now, when he got to Venice, remember, this is 24 years later. He's already like close to 40 years old, maybe even 40, maybe 41. Um, and when he gets there, he comes back with the wealth of knowledge about the Asian world, remedies and, cooking and lifestyles, philosophy, things like that. And not only that, but he also brought items, gems, jewels, gold, silver, spices, silk, things like that. He brought that stuff back with him. Um, but here's the thing. He didn't become famous right away. Okay. Um, it wasn't until there was this fighting going on and he was caught as a prisoner out in sea. Now, the thing is, he was put in jail, right? And in the same jail, there was a prisoner like him who was a writer. And the thing is, Marco Polo basically told him about his experiences, what he saw, and his trips, and what he did for Kubla Khan. And this writer starts writing it all down, right? Because he's like fascinated by the stories. So he starts writing them down. And the book becomes a like international bestseller, right? Because the thing is, you have to remember, Nobody just, hey, I'm gonna go over to China or Mongolia and I'm gonna meet Kubla Khan and I'm gonna say hang out with him and do stuff like that. No, nobody did that. But again, because Kubla Khan saw something in Marco Polo, he trusted him, he gave him responsibilities, and basically gave him first-hand account experiences that nobody else could have. So the book is huge, and the name Marco Polo becomes synonymous with exploration and uh, Asia. You know. Now here's a little myth. Um, there's a myth that Marco Polo introduced pasta to Italians. That's not true. He did not. Pasta was already around. But what he did introduce to Italy and then the rest of Europe is the concept of paper money. Now, here's the thing you have to remember back in the day, if you paid someone money, like a shilling and stuff like that, it was gold, silver, copper, whatever. Okay, so the money had some value. So you could collect enough of it, melt it down, and make something out of it. Um, if you did a job for somebody, they would give you silver or gold pieces or something like that. You know, so the material was tangible. It was something that you could use, melt down, things like that. But money, paper money, that was something new because in Asia, what they would do is this. Let's say you, like now, you had $1, right? You would get $1 worth of gold. You could trade it in for something. Um, Same thing with like $10 worth of gold. That idea, that concept was brand new to the Europeans and to the people of Italy, and he brought that over. That's what he did do. Okay, now that is the end of the lesson. Again, there was no midpoint question or final question. Again, if I remember right, we had a shortened day that day, um, so the lesson was short. All right. So be sure when you go into class, you have your name on your paper, you turn it into the basket. Um, Again, do not hand it to me, do not put it on my desk. Okay. Your job is to put it in the black basket. Okay. So that's it. I hope you learned something new today. And I hope to see you in class. All right. So take care. Have fun.